Hello, everyone, and welcome to our September newsletter.
September, yeah.
Yeah, for our
At least
Patreon.
as of this recording, it's September.
Oh, we're gonna get it out fast, man. It was
No. I know we're going to get it out fast, but I mean, you know me. I like saying what date and time it is when we do video.
It's 8:00 at night on a Thursday.
8:05, and on Tuesday at that.
Oh yeah, but we are here to give our monthly synopsis. It's been a few months since we did this, but we are doing this for our Patreon subscribers and anyone else who might have strolled along to our Patreon page. But this is going to be our newsletter where we kind of just wind up and talk about things that we've actually reviewed or the news we want to talk about in the past few months or month if we do it on a normal basis as we're supposed to. But first, let's just say welcome to a new entry into the Discussing Network fam. And who would that be, Mr. Cal Jones?
That would be Ron Stevens, who, if you've been listening to Discussing Comics for the last year or so, you've heard Ron on there. He has formally brought his Extremely Geeked Out podcast as part of the Discussing Network, which I'm really cool, happy about that.
Yeah, we are definitely happy to have Ron along, and just an extended welcome to his crew to being on board. So that's awesome. But that's big news that's happening in the Discussing Network world over the past month. So let's go ahead and get into what we've been talking about in the Discussing Who world. So of course we know there's not any current Doctor Who going on right now, at least new television Doctor Who. So what have we been reviewing over on Discussing Who for the past few months, Cal?
All right, so in Discussing Who, we have been doing the season 5, or as I like to call it, 2010 series of Doctor Who. Of course, Matt Smith's first series, which was really cool. We had Shannon Perry on as a guest from my beloved Oz 9. So that was like me geeking out big time having Shannon on with us.
Yeah, 100%. It was awesome to have her on. And yeah, I have to say, man, I say this every time, but as we go back through these episodes that mostly I've only seen ever one time because I'm just a horrible Doctor Who person like that. But it's been interesting to get back into these and kind of rejigger my memory and explore some of these mysteries of Doctor Who, which even at the time I thought were amazing, but it's awesome to find them anew again and fresh again. So I'm loving that.
So you're going to enjoy this. So there was one time, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that somebody would only watch these one time. And I know you have a lot on your plate, so I get that, and I'm cool with that. But I remember you and I were at a convention, I think, or a Comic-Con thing in Hattiesburg way back, probably 2017, and when you got in the car, we were getting ready to go, and I had Clara's theme playing in the background when you got in. And I'm like, oh, he's going to love this. And you're like, oh.
Now,
yeah, okay. What's that?
You know I'm not a big music person.
Yeah, you're not a big music fan.
You and Lee are all about the music, but I'm not a huge Doctor Who music person until it really sticks me. So, yeah, the music has not really been my thing, but you are so nuanced. You're all about the themes and the mannerisms and everything else from your favorite characters, which Clara should be one, obviously, but you're just crazy on that, but she should be one. But yeah, I'm slowly getting more into that mode as we go back through these, and it definitely seeing Matt Smith and River and Amy. We've had several moments. I think one in particular, Rory, where they just hit the music and it strikes the tone, and yeah. So I'm loving that. I'm appreciating that a bit more than I have in the past.
Cool. See, it's taking that second watch though to kind of get that going. So what about for you? What have you been doing over on Discussing Trek? Because it sounds like we've been having some fun, going a little lower a little bit, maybe?
Well, yeah. We've been doing some Lower Decks, which is the new animated series from CBS All Access, the new animated Star Trek series called Lower Decks. We've been trying to acclimate ourselves to the new world that is Lower Decks. I can't say that we're all on board, but I think it's been interesting to see Star Trek take what I feel is more of a slapsticky approach at the Star Trek universe, which, again, like we're not all sure we're on board with that. But, there have definitely still been some strong points about what we've seen so far. I think the animation is great. I think some of the stories are good, but again, it's just going to take some time. I think even for the writers to get into that flow to make something that is not trying too hard, and I feel like we think they're trying too hard and the story writing is just not quite there for us. What about you? Is it anything about Lower Decks in particular that has tickled your fancy so far?
I I have I have come away accepting it for what it is. I think I've said that on the show several times, accepting it for what it is. But I think they did a fantastic job on the opening credits.
Yeah.
I think those are beautiful. I think there's a little inner comedy in the credits.
Yeah.
So, I think this show has room to grow, but it's one that I don't dread watching. I actually look forward to watching. So.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, we got a bunch of good news that we're going to be diving into soon, which is going to be Star Trek Discovery Season 3, which starts pretty soon here after Lower Decks wraps up. It's going to be continuous Star Trek. So that's all fun. So, yeah, can't wait to get into more of that over at Discussing Trek. So, what's been going on in the comic world on Discussing Network?
So, I'll be honest, the comic podcast, I have had difficulty finding good content. I mean, and I know there's a wealth and plethora of back issues and concepts that we could do. But when you're not getting your monthly or weekly fix of comics, it's hard to get excited about comic books,
Yeah, I mean, understood, man.
And we had, and I wrestled with this for about 2 weeks of whether or not I wanted to do something when Chadwick Boseman passed away. And I chose not to because I didn't want to feel like that I was jumping on a bandwagon, that I was making an episode so that we could put his name in it and get attention. That's why I said, we put something on our Facebook, we made that statement, and I was like, I don't want to look like I'm getting listeners based off of putting his name in a title of an episode.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's definitely been something that I've been reluctant to talk about. It's kind of like when Kobe died earlier this year, I just had to tune out. I couldn't even really go on social media because it's just too sad to hear. And in this day and world, this day and time, when something happens, it's just like an echo chamber of getting reverberated. So, thoughts and prayers to his family. And the legacy that he left definitely is going to carry on in the hearts of mine of little kids that look like me across the world. So just hearts and minds to his family, 100%.
Agreed. Totally agree. Well said. But in regards to discussing comics, we've got some things I think coming up very soon that would be fun because X-Men comics are coming out again on time, and there's some cool things coming from both Marvel and DC. We did, I said there hadn't been much, but our friend Dietrich Smith, we did a episode with him now it's been a couple of months ago, but he reached out to us, and that's on, of course, you can go listen to that in the feed. So. Yeah,
and I'll also say if you're into comics, just definitely check out the Extremely Geeked Out podcast, where you and I were on an episode about. I know we talked about the Snyder Cut, but I'm not sure that was the title. Oh, it was How to Get Into Comics. That was the name of the episode. Yeah, so that was a good one. So definitely, it would run me and Kyle. So definitely check that out. That was a lot of fun to do, and that's in the feeds as well. Anything else, man, that we're missing that we might want to talk about to our Patreon subscribers?
No, other than I would want to say, thank you guys for supporting us. You don't have to. This is something that you choose to do. And for all of us, I think we very, very much appreciate it. And we need to, and I'm talking to myself, not Clarence, we need to, Kyle needs to, we all need to create more content for you guys. But seriously, thank you. We do appreciate it.
Yeah. Everything that you contribute definitely goes right back into the channel, as witnessed by some recent purchases we made. So we definitely appreciate you being on board. You're by no means required to contribute, but you do it out of the goodness of your heart. And thank you for just giving us a kick in the back and and giving us a little more encouragement to do this better and more often. So we really appreciate that, guys, for being on board. And if there's anything that you want us to talk about, any subject in any of our pillars that you want us to cover, feel free to send in. Hit us up on social medias, or hit us up here on Patreon for anything that you might want us to talk about. I think that having feedback from you guys is what makes it special. And definitely if we're serving our bosses, our audience,
there you go.
we want to do that. So 100% thank you guys for contributing and being along.
So how about I end it with a nice spoiler?
I thought you were going to say a song. I thought you were going to say a song.
No,
but spoiler will work too.
I don't do songs. but a nice spoiler, because that goes right into what you just said, which is something for one of our patrons, something that we've been working on for discussing comics. And our patron, of course, is, I'll name him, Matthew Turnage. And Matthew made a suggestion to me a couple of years ago now, and I'm not going to say what it is, but it's something that Matthew suggested, and myself, Ron, and Ryan have all been working to do something so that we could do something that Matthew made a suggestion. So Matthew, you will know what it is when you see it, but I hope that it is coming very soon.
Oh man, what a freaking tease. Yeah, so we're going to wrap this up, but real quick, Kyle, let's go ahead and get a real quick parting gift. If there's anything you want to suggest or to watch that we haven't talked about or anything, just give your plug real quick and we'll wrap this thing up.
All right. Well, I want to give a real plug real quick because it's something that we've been talking about on all of our shows for years now. And as of next week, it will be wrapping up its finale. And that is, I know, it is the Relativity Podcast. So go out, relativitypodcast.com, written by our friend and compatriot Lee Shackelford and co-starring Clarence Brown. So there you go.
That's my plug as well, man. If you haven't, please check out the Relativity Podcast. It's something really special. Lee goes hard to work on producing a show that we all can be proud of, and just thanks to him for inviting me aboard to be a part of the crew. And it's been a fun ride. My first ever voice acting gig, he gave it to me. So having no experience, he gave me one. So I really appreciate that. It's been a lot of fun, and the next time we talk, it'll be over. So I'm sad. So but as always, guys, stay locked in. Again, thanks for everyone that contributes to this Patreon. Make sure you hit up discussingnetwork.com. Feedback on social medias, that's always welcomed. And until next time, guys, I was going to say live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.